And I am doing a breakdown, sort of dissection on the How to Train Your Dragon movies, specials, TV series, Netflix series, and the other two movies. And I might get into their other off-brand stuff like video games, but I don't know yet. I'm kind of wanting to just do more of the film series more. But let's get started with it. How to Train Your Dragon in March of 2020, the 21st, this movie will be officially 10 years old. And I have been, I will admit it, a fan of the series. I couldn't help myself. And I really want to share some of those thoughts and opinions with y'all, so you can all get an idea of why I'm such a fan of this. I've been wanting to express myself about the series for a long time. So, sit back and enjoy, and I hope you enjoy my opinion and thoughts on the whole entire series, because this is what I'm going to be doing for a while as a project. So, let's get started. Alright, so first part is always the introduction to anything that I could really say of how I first seen this movie. This is the poster I remember seeing when it was out in the theaters. Now, I remember, this is 2010, so I'm pretty much like a young adult, like 18 or 19 at this time. And it's like, looking at it, I was just like, well, what the hell am I looking at? It was the funniest thing, because like I looked at it, I'm like, okay, I'm assuming that guy's a Viking, and okay, it's got dragons. What the hell could this possibly be? I mean, I read the title, How to Train Your Dragon, and I was just like, okay, this kind of looks dumb. Didn't really, I don't know, I think what threw me off the most was the tail of the dragon. It kind of made me think, man, this is gonna look stupid in my first, view and thoughts. And the one thing that really kind of made it like I didn't really care for as much either was that the fact that I seen DreamWorks was doing it, because as you can see, you got Shrek and Madagascar. Okay, let me just talk about those two films real quick and just try to give you the real reason why I thought How to Train Your Dragon was gonna not be that great. I liked Shrek. I liked the first one. The second one was okay, but as you can see, I lost a lot of enjoyment for it. Madagascar was just like, that movie was just, I found it way too over the top for my taste. Like I said, I was at this age where I was 18, 19, so it's like watching like cartoons that were like over the top, just annoying, silly, especially with King Julian. I found that character to be the most annoying character of them all. I didn't really care for it. So it's like when I seen this poster for How to Train Your Dragon, the one thing I was like, this is gonna be stupid. It's probably gonna be something really stupid, and that's all I thought about it, because I didn't go see this in theater. I did not pay to go see this. Yeah, the real truth is I never paid to go see it in the theater the first time it came out. I actually got to see this on DVD when it came out later. One reason why I'm talking about this poster is because this was like my first glance into what I would later on become a huge fan of. And it was kind of crazy, because it's kind of funny how when you should never judge a book by its cover. But yet, that's what I did with this movie, and it turns out I just loved it more than, like the level of like, I'm totally disgusted, this looks dumb, to like, oh my god, I love it. The amount of difference in it was just, it's crazy how much it changed my life when it came into it. So now we're going to start talking about the movie a little bit. I'm not going to do a whole full-fledged review, but I am just going to sort of just go over some few things, talk about a few things, and just dissect it and just share my opinion. Alrighty, with every part of this, I want to say is the man you see to your right is my father, Greg Birch. This man plays a really important part in the whole introduction to my fandom to the whole entire series. This movie really speaks on a lot of levels for me, and it's really because of my father. And I'm going to go into more details later on in this review, and there's going to be more hinting towards it all. And what can I really say is my dad was the number one contributor to my fandom for this show, and I really just want to say that it's really important to know that this is a key factor to it all, but don't be too harsh on it, because I will admit this is a topic that I hold close and dear with me, and this is probably the first time I have ever took a step up to record and do video and talk about this topic too, so just keep that in mind. Now that's out of the way, I just want to talk about the movie. When my dad brought this home, I was just like sitting there thinking to myself, this is karma for me saying this movie was going to be dumb. Because my dad just waltzed in from Family Video, has the DVD in hand, and he goes, "Hey Sam, you gotta check this out, it's made by the same people that made Shrek." And I'm thinking in the back of my head, I'm like, oh my god, Dad, really, honestly, we all know how we feel about Shrek, because my dad kind of had the same taste in, movie critic, kind of style of, movies. It's like, sometimes it's like, when a company's starting to hit a bad point, you're kind of like a little leery about some of their newer stuff. So, at first I kind of fought it. I'm like, I really don't want to watch it. I'm like, it looks dumb, it looks stupid. I've kind of looked up all my research on it and kind of like talked about it. And I was so wrong when I gave my guess. My guess was like, it's about some kid with one leg that rides dragons. But would we ever be so wrong, Sam? Would we ever be so wrong? The introduction of it though, when the DVD started playing and stuff, and the music and the scenery and the graphics, it really caught me, because I can actually, enjoy good visuals like that. It gives a good introduction, and then you kind of just get the introduction with Hiccup, and then that's when I was like, okay, so it's he doesn't have one leg, but I'm but why does the pictures have him having one leg? So really, honestly, my curiosity started wondering, it's well, how the hell does he lose his leg? Because clearly in the beginning of this movie he has both of his legs, but or should I say feet, but it's kind of crazy. That's how it got me involved. I was just I just want to see how this happens. And as the story started unraveling, and you sort of got a feel of what Hiccup is. Hiccup is an outsider. He's scrawny, and everybody points that out in the movie all the time, and it's just it's kind of funny, because it's kind of like a punch line, but it's always well delivered when Hiccup mocks himself, or somebody sort of makes a hint towards his stature, being weak and scrawny. But I started watching it, and I started looking at some of the dragons, and I will admit I was a little bit judgmental, but I was yeah, some of them actually look pretty legit. A little too cartoonish at first, but I was I started thinking about the poster again, and I was wait a minute, there's one with a weird tail, it's red, and it's which one is it gonna be? Because like I said before, I had no idea about Toothless or any of that. I just kind of Wikipedia it. I didn't really look at any of the images. I just trying to look at it, see what it was all about, just for curiosity. And yeah, lo and behold, I did not see any pictures. But I was just well, let's just continue on and see how these dragons turn out later on in the movie. But then when you get to the point where what would be Toothless, the Night Fury, starts striking and stuff, I was okay, I'm a little curious now. So this one's kind of they kind of introduced Toothless as this legendary badass dragon. It's okay, that's pretty neat, that's interesting. We all know the story of how Hiccup shoots him down, whatnot, and he has to learn how to train Toothless to fly, because he later on learns that without the back tail fin, Toothless is kind of like prone to being killed or dying, whatnot. So it's like, that's the whole entire movie, because, you know, by now everybody knows the movie. And I was just kind of wanting to break down and give my thoughts and opinions on some of the characters, which I'll show in a bit, but I just wanted to sort of talk about them, sort of this underlining and the details that I would like to express that I've kind of seen in the movie, and, you know, kind of debate a little bit about that.